Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Vibes. I'd love to welcome here Chris Lino from a great band called Boiler Room. I got a new album out, and I'm going to tell you what, I listened to it, and I was blown away. And I love metal music, but I haven't really been huge into new metal, but I think you've made me a new fan. I can't tell you what this means to me. And I want the audience to get to know you. So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
All right. Boiler Room, back in the day, we formed in Brooklyn, New York. We were rolling with bands like Life Agony and Biohazard, Typo Negative, and these guys. And we played the Foundations Forum, man, in '93, trying to get signed. That was like a thing where signed bands would promote their new record. Bands trying to get signed like us would be playing. We had a short run with one guitar player, and then we ended up getting Rob Caggiano, who ended up playing with Anthrax and Volbeat. And me and him got together, and we wrote some great songs, and that's when it happened, basically. And we got signed to Roadrunner. We had an issue. They released us on MTV's Return of the Rock CD Volume 1 with some heavy hitters, a single, Do It Again. And then we got re-signed to Tommy Boy Warner Brothers, and they released a full length. And we ended up supporting acts like Disturbed and Mudvanye on their first tour of their first albums.
What lit a fire under you that after so many years, you decided to get the band back together?
You know, there was just some songs that me and Rob Caggiano wrote that didn't get their fair shot, and I just wanted to re-release those songs. I had a friend, Mike Orlando, that was, he kept pushing me to do it. I was looking to do something totally different, something more like a heavy blues, acoustic kind of, thing. But he ended up, convincing me to do the Boiler Room stuff. So that's what we did. We did, I got the album right here. We did about half that album, and we have two new songs that we wrote. Yeah, I love music, man. I love performing. That's why we do it, to get out there and get on the stage and tear it up. So, I'm always sitting down. I got my guitars, always sitting down writing and playing. So it never leaves you, So I just wanted to get those songs out there to re-expose them again.
Well, my generation, we started out hard rock, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, that kind of thing. And it just kept developing into, you had metal music, and metal went in all kinds of directions. Of course, pop metal kind of took over the airwaves, but there was doom, death, grind, hardcore. I mean, 20 different genres. And then new metal comes along. What made you get into new metal?
Well, I wouldn't really. We had one single that had a little rap and stuff in it, and then we just came up when those bands were thriving. I'm influenced by. I love all those bands too. Sabbath and some of the hardcore bands. We just got pigeonholed into that category. I consider it more like groove metal, what we do. Always love Pantera. Those guys are the shit down in Texas.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We just wrote for what we felt, and we got influenced by the times a little bit. We got caught up in that, which I don't know if that really behooved us. We're kind of stuck behind the 8 ball, kind of a little bit late in the game with that. Yeah, I was just fortunate to say we did it. We went out there and we had a great time. I met I got to see places on other people's dime that I never would have went to in the world. And it was just, it was a blast, man. And I love the heavy groove and stuff. So that's what I continue to do.
With new metal, I guess that's considered to be a mix of hip hop And although I hear a little bit of it in some of the songs, it's not oversaturated.
Right. I mean, there's some other songs on the original album that I just decided not to redo because I didn't want to go there again. I just went more in the groove metal category. Like one song, No Patience. It was originally called Patience, but it had nothing to do with patience. So I retitled No Patience. We were touring Mudvanye, and they would come, pass by during our sound check and be like, "What song is that?" I'm like, "Well, that's a song we don't play in the set." And they're like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Well, it didn't pass the board meeting, So that was one that I decided that, that me and Rob Caggiano wrote. I'm like, if I ever get a chance to redo that song, I'm going to redo it. And that's one of them that's on this album.
Caggiano goes on to play with Anthrax. Bumblefoot, he was with y'all in the beginning, right?
Right. He was a friend of ours from Staten Island, New York, and we had a rehearsal room there. And he came in with his board and recorded our first self-released album. It was like one of his first projects to engineer and produce, and that came out great. And he does a guest appearance on this. Many, many years later, we hook up, and I tell him I'm doing this. And I said, "Hey, Ron, you want to do a guest appearance?" He's like, "For you, Chris? Absolutely, let's do it." And I was like, "Ah, man, I was so excited." He came down and he played on the tune Rectify, and he just tore it up. There's two tracks of Rectify in this album. There's the edited radio version where, he's doing his solo thing. And then there's an extended version where he just goes bananas. So definitely give that a listen. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's so fluent and he's so natural. And he's a guy who could shred and play with feeling. And it's, I'm just so happy to have him on it,
I listen to a band like Boiler Room and I get blown away. And there's not a whole lot of music that I'm listening to that it's a little more modern that I really get blown away by. And I think, wow, these guys are so friggin' awesome. Why was it so difficult for y'all to even get to a point of a record deal when y'all should be, you should be doing stadium tours right now?
Well, thank you, man. Well, we did have a record deal, back in the day, and then it just, after coming back from Europe, we did a headline club tour in Europe. We came back, we weren't selling enough records in the States, and it's a business, and we got dropped, and then that's when Rob said, "All right, I'm going to go play with Anthrax." We do have a deal with Deco Entertainment, DEKO Entertainment. You could go on their website, order the CD. We actually made CDs because they're coming back just like the vinyl. And it's great. Here's the CD right here. It's great. I love this stuff because that's what I love about back in the day, of something physical to look at.
Wow.
You have the artwork, pictures, the credits. You get to read who was on the album, and who we thank. That's the CD. Let me show you some pictures. This is what I love about back in the day. You could take, open a CD or an album, and you got some cool pictures. You get to be absorb it more, and you listen to it from beginning to end, and you're more of a fan. Now it's like attention deficit. There's so many bands out there, and people just download one song or listen to one song, stream one song or two.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It just doesn't seem like we were real fans back in the day, because we bought albums and CDs,
Yep.
and we sat there, and it was an experience for us. I mean, it's great, but now it has its pros and cons. Today, you could break in, you could expose your music to the world, but there's a lot of stuff out there that, listen, I am an advocate of people playing music, writing music. But, back in the day, you had A&R people, and they were like the quality control,
Right.
and they were the gatekeepers, and it was great in that aspect, and it was bad in other aspects because the bands were getting ripped off. And I'm going off on a tangent now.
Oh no, man. Well, my thing is like I was saying, a band like yours, I feel like should have been bigger than what they were. and not taking away from your talent. I just feel like maybe it's the record company's fault more than it's your fault.
Yeah, a lot of politics gets involved, and it's a business. And what happened was there was a changing of the guard at the label, and people come and go, and it happens. We were a casualty, many casualties of the music industry. We got to a certain point, and at least I could say we did it, and we had made some great music, had a great time, met some great people. Oh, and I'm doing it again. No pun intended. That's one of the tracks. Do it again. But yeah, I'm happy to be able to do it again and have a good time. And it's all about playing live and having a good time.
Are you planning to keep this going?
Basically, you're going to get a feel for how it goes, and then we're going to take it from there. We played a couple of shows, about a half a dozen shows, good shows. We had a great time. But this album is. I just wanted to redo like these songs, and I wrote. We wrote 2 new songs, and just wanted to get this out so people can get an appreciation for what they might have missed back in the day. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. That's it. You got to see where it goes. Some fans are coming out. Hopefully with the release of this album, we got more fans coming out, and we're creating a new base. And we'll just, like you said, we're just gonna take it from there.
Chris, do you guys have a website?
Yes, it's Boiler Room. I think you could go look at it. If you look it up. See, there's an issue we have with there was a movie soundtrack that came out. So from a movie, Boiler Room, about Wall Street. So you got to be a little careful when you're searching it. So if you put Boiler Room Band in, you'll see that we have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram. It's Boiler Room _music. And then you can find us on all the streaming, Spotify and iTunes and Amazon and all that stuff. And then you could also pick up a CD and a T-shirt through Deco, DEKO Entertainment. And yeah, that's where you can find us.
Well, I'm going to put all those links in the description just to make it easier for folks to find you.
Thank you so much.
Man, Chris, it's really been an honor to have you on the show. I was looking forward to getting to talk to you, and I hope you continue to make the music.
Thank you so much. I just, all these years later, and here I am doing it again. And pick up the CD, man. Become a real fan. It's a great album. Ron Bumblefoot Thal, guest appearance on the track Rectify. Definitely check it out on Spotify.
Definitely. I will, like you say, I will put those links in the description. But man, again, thank you. And I want to thank all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll come back. Please hit that subscribe button for my regulars. You guys are awesome because you make it possible for me to do this. Until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
What will I become?